All right, so welcome back, everybody. We are with Onna Carr for an interview. Thank you so much for being here at the Collaboration Comic Convention. And for everybody watching, if you want to support the speakers and our COVID fund, then you can leave a donation at our Patreon page of any amount, or you can purchase a ticket, whatever you'd like to do. So, hi, Onna. It's great to have you.
Oh, and actually, this is the panel, just so everyone knows.
Oh, oops, right. This is a panel with Onna Carr. Thank you for being here, everybody. Okay. So, what would you like to talk about?
I didn't know how you wanted us to go. We can discuss, I have the slides again. We can go a little further in detail on the books or whatever works for you. So you let me know, we hope.
Sure. You know what? Before we do that, why don't you tell us a little bit about your Starbate convention that you do?
Yes, it's once a year, every 3 months. It's June, July, and August. You just go to thelittlegreenhouseonthecorner.com and we have a page for it. You can contact us to set up. We have video blogs, we have articles, we have all sorts of really cool things. We usually feature people from all over the world. We've reached countries all over. We're very popular in Eastern Bloc, and also we even had some people from Egypt come and visit, which I thought was kind of cool because of the Stardate coming from Egypt.
Of course.
So, yes, and then we also have some links through YouTube. You can watch Get to the Gate Summer Camp. We have a promo video every year. We've got 2 up. And
They're
we also
really cool, I have to say.
page you can follow. We're thinking about creating a group as well for the convention. It's Get to the Gate Summer Camp. So you can just check that out online at Facebook or on the website, thelittlegreenhouseonthecorner.com. And there's a link there directly to the Get to the Gate information. And you can also read all of the 2 years' past posts. We have 3 posts a week every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's how we ended up having the Monday, Wednesday, Friday blog, because there was just too much Stargate to put on 1 day a week. So we decided to go to 3 days a week releasing posts, which are either blogs or vlogs. And then you can access those 2 years worth on a special link in the drop down at Monday, Wednesday, Friday Finds blog.
Yeah, I love that Comic-Con. I've been to every single one, participated in every single one, and it's awesome. And you are doing that again this year, right?
Yes, we are. And we hope to write some fabulous articles for it, so you ought to check out that as well.
Thank you. So, what made you decide to start the Stargate Comic-Con?
Well, I found out about Stargate because our car broke down in the middle of South Dakota, and we ended up spending the night at a hotel and having a sleepover with this delightful Comic-Con loving girl named, names are terrible for me, but anyway, she was delightful. And she told us that we should check out Stargate, and I'd never really heard of the show before. Don't watch a lot of television except usually BBC productions or films
Once Upon a Time,
yeah.
Star Trek.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
If it's something that's going to involve a long commitment, we're in.
Yeah. So we are diehard fans of anything. So anyway, but we choose to be diehard fans of. But we got Stargate Atlantis from the library, and we're blown away by the special effects. Not particularly the pilot episode wasn't really my thing, but once we got into it, the character of John Shepard I really identified with. And also I really liked Taylor and Ronan, and watching the camaraderie between the characters as the show progressed and how they became kind of a familiar unit on the other side of the galaxy, that was pretty cool. So then we went from Stargate Atlantis, we had to watch Stargate SG-1. And so we went to Stargate SG-1, watched all 8 seasons of that, plus the films. And we then got you and saw the fabulous Robert Carlyle play Dr. Rush, which, in my opinion,
moment of silence around the world.
No offense to anyone else who listens and has their own opinions, but he made that show. If it hadn't been for Robert, I don't think I would have liked it nearly so well. I know a lot of people don't like Dr. Rush, but in my opinion, he's an endearing chap. So, and And B Hope wrote a fabulous selection of articles on Dr. Rush and his character, and also made a music video called Visit de Arte in honor of that character. It's on YouTube, and the posts are on Get to the Gate Summer Camp Monday, Wednesday, Friday Finds blog post, so you can check that out. But it's a fabulous look at his character development. So, but I really, really like the camaraderie of Atlantis. I do like SG1. It's, you know, the first one you start out with, you kind of end up usually liking the best. Not that you don't like the others, but I do have to say I am a really, really a big fan of SGA, and I also really liked the Arc of Truth. After having the entire show and all the series, I do like SGU for Dr. Rush's character and the moral conundrums he brings up and the different things about how you judge a person one way, but it's not always the way that you imagine it is. And often the person who looks like the bad guy may not really be the bad guy at all. And I kind of like that, a bit of throwing you off guard and making you pivot in thought. So I think that's what I like best about sci-fi is that it is moral questions wrapped up in a story that you can watch. So.
And have you seen the newest one that came out, the Stargate Origins? Did you like that one?
Oh, that one was fabulous. I love that.
It was really good.
Yes, I really liked how that had a lead female character in it. I did wish they could have made a sequel to that so we could see her like progress. It was such a neat story. I don't really get slapstick humor, so the slapstick humor, it was kind of odd to me, but again, that's just me. I'm not really into slapstick, so. But I thought they did a really good job. I really liked that there was a lady who was in charge of the production, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she does next.
Yeah, and it was kind of interesting to get to look at the basically, I really liked how they handled the Goa'uld in that one because usually it's just the Goa'uld are basically kind of cut and dried, just evil people, amusing evil, disturbing evil, but just evil nonetheless. And in that one, it was kind of interesting to watch for me, the dichotomy of the Goa'uld trying to protect her Harcesis child. And it's like, you don't like this character, but still there's a part of her that you can totally align yourself with because, I mean, it's like, yes, she's doing the wrong thing, but it's like, what is her motivation, you know? And I think the thing that I liked most about that was that the whole of the Stargate being found and the desolation of Ra and his fall was all founded by the love this woman had, which you don't even remember her name because everyone's memory is wiped, but because of this Goa'uld, everything else falls into place because basically this villain becomes the hero in an odd sort of way.
Yeah.
Because if it weren't for this character who, honestly, I didn't really like this character, but I thought it was kind of an interesting twist that basically, you know, when you watch Stargate, your mindset is, oh, this is a Goa'uld, it's going to be bad. And in this case, it kind of turns that on its head a little bit because it's like, yes, this is a bad Goa'uld, but if it weren't for this Goa'uld, none of this other would have happened. So it's just kind of an interesting plot twist, I thought.
This I think is interesting because on the one hand she's protecting her child, and on the other hand she's trying to rule the world and dominate, which is kind of an interesting, you know, we all think, you know, one side loving character and on the other side world domination. It's, you know, a weird blend. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, mommy, what you doing today? Oh, we're just going to go decimate some planets. I'll be back by noon, sweetie. I mean,
I know, it's kind of funny because it's like on one hand she's trying to be a good mom to her child, on the other she's raising the kid to be a world dominating major role. I mean, with absolute power, which is like
yeah,
it's hilarious, quite unique. So yeah,
this is my child ruler of the universe.
Yeah, you know, it's like you know, it's like they say in that show Megaline, I'm shaking in my custom baby seal leather boots, and you're going, on one side, really bad character, on the other side, needs positive reinforcement for what they don't screw up. So, so yeah, you know.
Yeah, totally. So So about your books, tell us a little bit more about what made you decide to become a writer. Was it really just was it even something you decided? Was it just something that kind of happened organically, or what happened there?
Well, I've been writing stories since late elementary school, early high school. Several of these works that are published were spin-offs of original work that I did back then, which was quite a while ago. But anyway, then they just developed, and I thought, why not publish them and see if other people enjoy them? So they were going to be novellas, and then I thought, why not add really cool illustrations and make them graphic novels? So that's how most of them developed into that, except for the Being in Business, which that one was a collaboration with all the artists, foodies, and interior designers that were on the blog from all over the world. And that was a really neat experience, kind of like this convention in bringing people together with different thoughts and mindsets and having new ideas for them. So
Geeks unite!
yes, so it's been a pleasure to see that one. And then the graphic novels, I didn't intend to release them that way. It just kind of happened, and I thought, we'll just go with it. So kind of like this convention, we just thought we'll go with it, and here we are. So last day of the first weekend, we're all still, well, we're setting, but we're still there. I think we'll post a video at the end of this saying what we have learned from this.
Yeah.
And that
How
will be
to plan a
interesting.
convention that is worldwide in 3 weeks.
Yeah, and next time we're doing 6 months.
Yeah. It's been really fun to see, though, all the people that have come. I mean,
Yes,
I never told you this, but it turned out really well. I mean,
it did. And we had such help from Sean. He was so great. And then
oh my God.
Hink Wildhusen helped us with the website design. So thank you, Hink, if you're listening. And it's just been a joy to see people come together and during the midst of this COVID quarantine lockdown thing, have a way to interact with each other. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next week. And we're working on a surprise group panel. I guess we'll release it now with the guests that are available to chat. We'll all come together in a Zoom chat, and then people who would like to participate can ask them all questions, etc. During the last part of the convention next week on Sunday. So
that'll be amazing. So what made you decide to start this collaboration comic convention?
Well, about 2 years ago, when I was doing Get to the Gate summer camp, I met Dean Aylesworth. He was doing a couple of posts in June of that year.
He was a Nubis in Stargate. Okay,
he
sorry.
Was.
Sorry.
And what's funny is I hadn't yet seen that Stargate because we were working our way through the original SG-1 series. But I knew he was the great system lord from the series, so I was like, oh, we can have Dean on. So got to talking with Dean via email, and he needed someone to do bookings for him. And I ran a small business doing different things. I said, well, I could handle bookings. And so come 2 years later, I'm booking for about 18 different people from different various sci-fi films, from Stargate, Supernatural, Sanctuary, also some from MacGyver, and not very good at remembering TV names, but a lot of different shows. The X-Files. And so got to talking with all my clients, and during this COVID-19, most of the conventions have been canceled that were scheduled for this year in the spring and the summer, and it looks like it might be into fall. So we got together and asked them if they'd like to do something online, and this was what we came up with, and 3 weeks later, here we are. And I have to say, we haven't had any hiccups in technology once it got rolling. The ones before that were quite interesting.
Yes.
But now we are doing pretty good on technology. Everything's been rather seamless. It's been such a joy to see people connect. So.
Oh yeah, it's been amazing. I'm really glad you thought of this. So yeah, and I've got a question from quite a few people that have been talking to me back and forth about this. Are you planning on doing another one next year?
I think we probably are, but it's going to depend on it depends on the planning of things. So we're not going to do it again the way we did it this year, because We had it lined out. We were doing 3 weeks of planning. We got everything ready. Our technical system completely crashed 3 days before the event, so we had to come up with another way to record the panels, which was very interesting to go into, from testing out 2 days before the event starts to going live. And it's been really good. But I'm going next year. We're going to need a larger tech team to manage things, and also we will need to figure out notifying participants in different time zones, because that's been a problem. We've heard comments because of some people in Europe can't access the events because they're asleep during the time and they didn't know what time Central Standard Time was. So we'll have to come up with a better notification system. But yeah, I think we'll probably do it next year. It will just involve a lot more planning on the ground than we have for this one. It's been a pleasure, but I'm going next time. We will have a more streamlined system in place, because, yeah.
Okay, and I've got another question for you. If you could go to any comic convention in the world, which ones would you want to go to? Like, what's your dream con to go to? Like, it's an in-person con. What's your dream
Probably the ones in Asia. I've heard they're massive, and also I've always wanted to visit Asia for quite a while now. So I'm a big fan of Asian drama, etc., like manga, and so
con?
it
So, what
would
are
be
some of
fun.
your favorite Asian dramas?
Um, hmm. I'd have to say the one that was recently produced by Netflix, which has a really weird name. It's called Romance is a Bonus Book, but isn't really, I mean, it's more of a life drama, not really about romance. But anyway, it's just a delightful story. It stars one of the top Korean actors, Lee Jong-suk. I might be mispronouncing his name, but I really like the characters in that and how they develop, and kind of how it's about a life story of people and also the community of things. A lot like Stargate Atlantis in a way, because it's not just about two people that were growing up together, but it's about everyone they work around, the different intertwinings of families as they progress through life. Just really enjoyed that. And then also, thanks to Bob, I found out about The Bride of Hebei, which is a very interesting
so cool.
kind of sci-fi show. If you're into drama and you like subtitles and really cool special effects, this is your show. So
Yeah,
it's a
and the
little
manga
hard
is
to,
amazing too. It's totally a different plot line than the manga, but both are equally amazing. I couldn't pick a favorite between the two of them.
it's a little hard to follow as a Westerner. I mean, in my opinion, because I'm not terribly familiar with Asian history or beliefs. So it's about the different gods of different realms. And so it's a little hard for me to follow, but it was very interesting.
So
and
cool.
I love the special effects. And also how the main characters are trying to be so pompous. They're really like little kids that they're totally freaked out. Which is very fun to watch. I mean, no offense, I'm going,
Bunch of boobies.
it is. It's hilarious. I do have to say, I think my favorite is Guryom, because he's such a,
Oh yeah.
yes. I mean, and you think he's a bad dude at one point, but I'm sure he had a reason, even though it probably wasn't a good one. You go, oh, there it is. So yeah, but I really enjoyed that. And then currently I'm watching one called Pinocchio, which is about people with Pinocchio syndrome, where they cannot lie or they hiccup. And it also has Lee Jung-suk. Anything he does so far, I've really enjoyed, because the characters have they try to do the right thing pretty much all the time. They might not always succeed, but they're trying. And I really like that, kind of like John Shepard in the SG-1. Not as stalwart, but I'm just saying similar in nature, in that they're trying to do the right thing. So I'm also looking forward to, I understand there's one called While You Were Sleeping, and oh, I can't think of the name of the other one. It will come to me, like Belgium, as they say in IQ. But yes,
All right. So I
I
know you're into cosplay, so I've got to ask, if you could cosplay, what's your dream cosplay outfits? If you had like a top 5, what would they be?
I really like Turiel's outfit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a woman in Germany, for any of our listeners. She has a web shop on Etsy, I believe. and she makes the most amazing Turiel costumes I have ever seen, even better than the movie. And they're extremely reasonable, in my opinion. They're like less than 400 for this extremely elaborate full Turiel outfit with special embroidery on the dress, etc. So I'd have to say it'd probably be Turiel from Lord of the Rings, and I do like some of Arwen's clothes. It would depend on the outfit, but some of her things are very elaborate. I like cosplaying.
Would you
I think it'd
cosplay
be fun.
Stargate?
I think it'd be fun to be just a person at SGU, one of the SGU uniforms, or SGA, excuse me, SGA. But anyway, I also liked Star Wars, the costume worn by, is it Jyn Erso? Yeah, that one's cool. So yeah, kind of like those kind of outfits.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, I love cosplay. So haven't really done it yet, but I'm excited about trying some this year. So hopefully there'll be a con open, and if not, I'll just, I don't know, wear it around the house or something. So, what are some future books you see yourself writing? I mean, I know you're going to be working on finishing your series and that sort of thing. So, like,
well, I'm going to be working this summer on releasing the second book of the Google and Vermilion series, so that will be out probably in July. And then I'm probably going to go from that to finishing up the mini manga books with Be Hope here. They're kind of a spin-off of that, but a little different. They're not the same story, but they kind of take the spirit of those stories and convert them into a manga book.
it's like an alternative universe version.
Yes. And then also we will be, I'm looking at doing the More Than Conquerors series, the next book, but that's probably going to be next year, because that's a pretty big project involving quite a bit of research into 1890s history. And so that's probably going to be released next year. But that will be about them coming, they've come back from New York to South Dakota to be near family, and also why her husband went missing and no one could find the body. So, and why her dad's best friend has been missing for a while somewhere else doing extensive research on something. So,
sounds shady.
I know.
I think they're in cahoots.
But anyway, so that will be fun to develop. And then also I'm looking at finishing up the, there's a story I started many years ago on a bird that couldn't fly quite right. And it was a children's book. And so I think I'm going to be releasing that this summer as well. And so for all of those who are listening, it's called Quirks. It will be a series of Quirks books. So for those of you who want to look into that, that will be available. Also, the Elijah Arnault series I started, it's a graphic novel. I will be doing the prequels to that this year, and those will be released as graphic novels of that set. So that's going to be that collection. I hope to get about half of those done. So I started those in late high school, and it would be nice to get those finished after several years.
Yeah, well, this has been amazing, Onna. Thank you so much for doing this. Is there anything you'd like to say before we sign off?
I just want to say thank you to everyone who watched this and who came to the convention. It's been delightful to have you, and we look forward to seeing you next year if we do this again.
And thanks, everybody. And
if you want to stay tuned, you can certainly connect with us on our Facebook page, and we also have a group. We also are discussing having live meetups through Zoom that we could all visit and discuss things. If you'd like to be part of that, you can contact us on our page, message us directly on Facebook, Onna Carr, or visit us via email at collaborationcomicconvention@gmail.com. Whichever works for you. You can also message us via our contact button at our website, collaborationcomiccon.com. All the recordings for this event will be posted to the website by early this next week. So if you missed something, you can join us there. And we'll also have a YouTube channel. We've been talking with the guests, and we'll be creating a YouTube channel specifically for this event with all the videos there. So might want to check that here in early to mid-May is probably when we'll get that up. So, but looking forward to seeing you at our next events, and thank you so much for coming.
Okay, bye.